All right, welcome back to Take a Pitch.
Only Tuesday, and we have an emergency podcast.
It seems that our emergency podcasts always end up being on Tuesdays, right?
Tuesdays or Wednesdays, yeah.
Yeah, always. It's always right after we record. Always.
Right. And obviously, Monday was a big day in general for baseball. A lot of stuff happened, but nothing bigger than Jared Porter, Mets general manager or former Mets general manager, getting fired this morning, Tuesday morning. Steve Cohen announced that in a tweet, saying how he was serious about changing the culture and bringing in high integrity guys. If you haven't heard by now, Jared Porter sent a dick pic unsolicited to a reporter back in 2016.
I like the way you said that. Sorry.
It's a really simple lesson. I know. Yeah. There's a really simple lesson from all this. Don't fucking send unsolicited shit.
Yeah, just not in good taste. Just not in good taste.
ESPN broke the news last night. Jeff Passan. Obviously, ESPN not known for their integrity, given that they're focused on profit, as you and I both talk about at length sometimes.
Oh yeah.
They had the report since 2017. Again, the creepy part is not just the dick pic, which is horrible. But 62 unanswered texts, I feel like that's something that can't be kind of looked over. Yeah,
that's just not a good idea to do in any circumstance, really. We've talked about that at length as well. The numerical number that he texted was
right, and you and I were talking about it last night as well.
Way too high. Not a good look. Not in good taste, regardless of the situation, whether you're sending 62 dick pics or 62 highs. Not in good taste, regardless what you're doing. That's too many texts. Fuck ESPN. Yeah.
Realistically, at the end of the day, he definitely should have been fired, no doubt. There's really not much you really can say about the situation other than he deserved to get fired. He is 100% wrong. We here at Take a Pitch and our parent company, Southside Productions, do not condone any sort of sexual harassment of any kind or any harassment.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Especially sexual harassment. Yeah.
So, sexual harassment. Yeah. At least your words would be getting fired. I mean, let's be honest here.
Any sort of harassment like that is frowned upon.
Yeah.
And this is bad. And there are obviously there's a bunch of question marks in this story, though. And I do want to address that real quick because ESPN had it in 2017.
Okay.
They had the story. Why didn't they run it then?
Right.
The article said the reporter didn't want it to come out because she didn't want to ruin her career and all that stuff. Which, yes, I understand. Okay. Fine. ESPN dropped the story then. They did not. They kept in touch with the woman periodically since.
Yes.
Question number one, why?
Why?
If you wanted to run the story, you would have run it anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not pretend that ESPN respects people. They don't. They are a profit organization, and that's all they care about. And that's fine. Whatever. Be that way. Sure. No one's going to change that. But why? I mean, is there really an answer besides that? They had the opportunity, and my biggest problem with this is that I'm not saying that Jared Porter is a fiend or a bad person at all. I don't think this makes him a bad person.
Right.
But he could have been doing this for the past 4 years, and maybe even more. Maybe he could have been doing physical stuff as well. And they had the ability to end that. They did, and they did not do it. They did not pull the trigger on that because there was not a moral obligation to them. They didn't care about that. Their obligation was the clicks, the streams, and the money.
Yeah, no doubt. And then another in the report was that a Cubs employee, because Porter was with the Cubs at the time,
Okay.
knew about this. She confided in this. She went to the Cubs about it, and they got her an employee that she could talk to who was native country, stuff like that.
Okay.
And he knew about this, or he or she, I don't know who it is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that she went to a girl. Okay.
I don't know.
You don't
A
know.
Cubs employee.
Yeah. I just misinterpreted it.
That also remained anonymous. And that person didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That there's so much. Why didn't you do anything? Especially if you know about any sort of sexual harassment is frowned upon in every single business in America.
Mm-hmm.
The code of conduct, every single business has one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual harassment is a lengthy section in all of it that simply says, fuck it. If you do it, you're gone.
Yep.
Simple shit. Let's see. I have the article up here in front of me. Basically, the employee ended up saying, they were just there to listen to both to her side of it and didn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. I wonder
now,
why.
Could this have been stopped? Yes. I wonder why too. I do. I genuinely want to know why.
Because I personally, I think that person should also face repercussions.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
They withheld information.
Aided and abetted.
Yes, and like I said, I'm not saying that Jared Porter is a bad person, but he could have been doing this to other women. He could have been doing it physically to women,
and it's possible he still is that we don't know about.
Exactly.
We only know about the one.
And this person also, exactly like you said, aided to it. They let it happen. They appeased it, and they let it happen. Yeah. They enabled it, and they are a root cause if it is still happening.
It's
not it's not okay to do.
He left the Cubs. Why didn't that Cubs employee A, tell the Cubs, B, mention it to the Diamondbacks where Porter went?
Yeah.
Why did none of this come out before he even got the job with the Mets or even with the Diamondbacks? This is a serious issue.
Yeah.
Now I understand,
there's a reasoning
how terrifying it could be to, come forward with these allegations. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's some heavy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, in the past, it's been women who have had the fingers pointed at them for this stuff when it's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why she wouldn't want to come forward. Mm-hmm. She said she didn't want to ruin her career and all that. That right there is a problem with journalism as an industry. You've heard so many times and time again, people saying, their editors didn't care. So just do it. Deal with it. It's a industry issue in journalism. It's an issue in retail. It's an issue everywhere that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we only hear about it from this stuff because it's big name, big business.
Yeah.
This all could have been prevented 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They could have run the story 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a countrywide problem with people in power thinking they can get one over.
Yes.
Men or women.
It's a power hungry thing to do.
Yeah. And now this reporter isn't even in journalism anymore. She's saying she came forward now because she doesn't want it to happen to anyone else. That does make me wonder, are there more people?
Wait. Yeah. So she's not in journalism anymore.
Correct.
She is keeping it anonymous to keep herself safe in her home country.
In her home country. Yes.
And now she's doing it to make sure that no one else goes through.
So it's both. She doesn't want anyone else to go through what she went through.
So
and so that way anonymous, so that way she stays safe in her home country. Because
okay.
according to the article, in her home country,
Uh-huh.
it's still at that point where women are shamed for being sexually harassed.
Okay. So here's my thing on this now. Because I didn't read the article. I like to get my information through Mike and Macca. But anyway, why couldn't she have remained anonymous and then break the story in 2017?
Don't know.
There's no answer to that. Why?
There are so many questions here. And again,
if
with all these questions and poking the holes in the story, it doesn't change the fact that this is all 100% wrong. Jared Porter is wrong.
It is wrong to do. Do not send dick pics. Do not send. Don't send unsolicited anything.
Right. We're explicitly saying we don't condone this. Jared Porter is wrong in this situation.
I would never do that. Max, you might be a different story. I'm kidding. Max is not. Max does not send unsolicited dick pics. He only sends solicited dick pics,
which is still weird.
It is weird. But all right, no more joking. So here's my problem with this. The situation that came about now where she's remaining anonymous and ESPN's breaking it and they're trying to protect women. That is bullshit. That is total bullshit. You could have done that 3-4 years ago. Easily. Why not? They could have kept her anonymous. They could have kept her anonymous from their from everything back then. Why not?
Right. And Jared Porter would not have a job today. Who knows how different several people's lives would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and what the Cubs organization would be too.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of culture changes across baseball.
Yeah.
It's especially now when there's so many more prominent women in the game.
Yeah.
Be it in coaching, which we've seen a rise in nowadays.
Oh, we forgot to talk about that.
What?
Go
on. Whether it be in coaching, whether it be in the front office, whether it be in journalism, there are so many women who are involved in sports as a whole.
Yeah.
It's time they start getting the respect they deserve and they should have had long ago.
Mm-hmm.
They are equally as much of a part of the game as any of these games as men are.
Yeah.
If a woman loves baseball, she deserves to be in a locker room interviewing them. If she likes to write about it, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Women deserve a spot in sports just as much as men.
Yeah, as long as they're qualified. Don't care who you are, as long as you're qualified. You just need qualifications. I don't care who you are. Yeah, that's really it.
It's again, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is he's wrong. Under no circumstances is he ever right in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's time that sports as a whole does something for these people, women who feel uncomfortable, or even as men.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say I feel as though there is a lack of integrity from ESPN, and I think that they enabled it, they allowed this to happen, and they didn't really care about what he was doing. They didn't care about if he could have been doing this to other women. They didn't care. They don't. You can't tell me otherwise. Why save it for 3 years if you have the information? And they could have kept her anonymous then. They could have been the exact same situation then as it is now. They could have
run the exact same story.
They could have.
Word for word.
But they waited for the most exciting team this offseason, besides the Padres. But the Mets, their fandom, they finally got the new owner. They got,
everything's going right.
Clean slate. Yeah, everything was going great. You know, got Trevor May,
Big
and then
market too. Big
yeah,
media
yep.
market. New York.
And then Steve Cohen said that he's not going to hold back because he didn't lose money during the pandemic as most other clubs did. So we had more options on the free agent market, and you know we have rumors about everybody was coming. We're you know
Right. East Coast
going to the
Dodgers.
Mets. Yeah. So and then Jared Porter gets Francisco Lindor, the biggest trade of the season.
In Mets history, really.
One of, I mean,
Right.
Piazza.
One
Really,
of.
you can't really say
Since,
anything tops
since
Piazza.
Piazza, yeah.
Biggest trade since Piazza, easily. And yeah, I mean, that's why they broke it now. They were waiting for him to get into the position where he is now to get as much views and as much clicks and as much streams and as much money as they could juice out of this. And that's the ESPN way. It was a lack of integrity and a lack of character for whoever was running the story and whoever had this information. And I condemn them as well. I think that is extremely wrong what they did. They let they let it stew until they knew that they would profit off it the most and get the biggest revenue out of it. And I think that's extremely wrong. And I fucking hate that to my core.
Yeah.
Fuck ESPN.
And again, that's an issue in and of itself, you know? And, you know, we're going to keep this relatively short.
Yeah.
Because we are a baseball podcast, but this is more of a life thing, you know? It's a human decency thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, don't send unsolicited shit. Don't send 62 fucking text messages that haven't been answered. You know? Find your morals. You know?
I was gonna say,
this is really what it comes down to.
Just have morals, have self-respect, have respect for others. Some people don't deserve respect. I mean, yeah.
And women deserve just as much a spot in baseball and sports as a whole as men do.
As long as they're qualified.
Right. As long as you're qualified to
I don't give a fuck.
I
don't give a fuck who you are. I don't even need to fucking look at you. If your qualifications are there, you're good. Don't care about what you look like.
Exactly. And
I give zero shit about what you look like. That plays no toll on what I believe.
And we as big fans of this and we have a platform here.
Yeah.
Call for change, you know. Call out people to do what's right and
take the moral
high obviously, ground. Just do what's right.
Be a good person.
Jared Porter was wrong. You know, Jared Porter was wrong 100%. Nothing, not arguing that.
Yep.
It's just time that this shit ends. You know, I'm tired of hearing of it. Let's start showing people human decency.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
It's bigger than baseball. That's what it is. It's bigger than baseball.
Yep.
It's a human decency issue.
Yep. Just be a good person. It's really not that hard to do. I mean,
yep. And it's
really not.
It. This has been Take a Pitch Emergency Podcast. Jared Porter's out as Mets GM. Who knows what's next? Peace.
I guess we'll see. Have a good one. Love you. Bye.